Okay guys, today on the neighborhood tour we are doing downtown New Brunswick and Ward 5, one of the most bustling and popular areas of New Brunswick, I would say. Standing right in front of the train station, and I wanted to shoot from this location to really give you an idea of what's happening down here. Downtown New Brunswick, you've got a good amount of high-rises, a lot of luxury living, which kind of makes sense. It's in the downtown of the city. It's right by the train station. Behind me, they're putting up the steel for this Helix project where there's, God, maybe like a couple $100 million pouring into the city. And then even in the distance, besides the Helix building, you can see two other skyscrapers. That's all luxury housing. Kind of, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get the shot in. This building right here, that's another luxury skyscraper. So a lot of luxury rents in downtown New Brunswick. So it's a much different area if that's what you're looking for. But I'm going to take you along on a tour and hope you see what you like. Okay, so we're passing through George Street right now. George Street runs through the heart of downtown. That was part of it. And if you go straight on this street, it'll take you all the way into Highland Park. And this area of downtown's kind of where a lot of great restaurants are. Cousins is one of them. I think Cousins, anytime someone has taken me out there to discuss business, they've closed me every single time. I love myself some Cousins. Great food. Just a shameless plug for those guys. You got the Hyatt over here on the left. That's a major hotel. There's the Heldrick, also downtown, but not quite in the area I'm trying to give you guys a tour of today. You have Hiram Square, which is like a really hidden gem. You really don't even feel like you're in New Brunswick when you're over there. It's pretty cool, very nicely developed. And then this is kind of the extent of downtown / Ward 5 as far as it gets. And now I'm gonna kind of take you guys north into this area. That's George Street again. George Street is closed sometimes for restaurant week. It used to be closed a lot during COVID. I kind of wish it was permanent, but it's a discussion to have with the mayor, I guess. So this area is, so you gotta keep in mind, New Brunswick is the capital of Middlesex County. So there's a lot of attorneys that are in this area of downtown, a lot of action, a lot of court cases. City Hall, we kind of just passed, post office. This area is interesting because some areas are developed, some are getting developed, and some are kind of run down. So you get a little bit of a mix of everything. But this area of downtown, the closer you get to French Street, it's just a very large mix of offices. That's the best way I would put it. And you see like a lot of law offices running through this area of downtown, but a lot of development as well. It just depends on the parts. You kind of see some of these buildings, right? Like this building, they've been taking forever to develop. There you go. There's a nice big hole. That's gonna be something good, I hope. And there's the train tracks right there, right? So you could kind of get an idea of where we are. And if not, I'm gonna do a video with a map so you'll kind of know where you are. And now where we're going is heading towards French Street. So let me talk about French Street for a little bit. Okay, try to stay with me here, guys, and try not to laugh. French Street is to New Brunswick, as far as people goes and walking, as what Fifth Avenue is in Manhattan. That's how many people you see, at least I feel, you see walking around on French Street. Extremely walkable downtown area of New Brunswick. Very, very valuable real estate. Hard to buy on French Street. Actually, the commercial rents, I think, trade higher on French Street than any other street. So this area of French Street where I am, on the corner of French and Sudam and Lewis, this corner right here is extremely well viewed every day as far as foot traffic and vehicle traffic goes. It's a lot of mixed use stuff if you can't tell. So you got a couple buildings that are new, a lot of stuff that is run down, but just kind of waiting for the right buyer if you think about it. A lot of different restaurants, bodegas, pharmacies, all sorts of different things. Yep, and very friendly drivers on French Street, I might add. That's sarcasm for those of you who can't pick that up. Here's another building on the corner. This got developed like 5 or 8 years ago. And if you could see over there in the distance, they built, gosh, like, I don't know, 50 or 60 units. So this is still part of Ward 5, and French Street really is the border. So actually, why don't I take you guys on one of these side streets? Because I personally love Ward 5 in New Brunswick. It is very, very underrated and undervalued. I kind of think of it as like the up and coming area of New Brunswick. And it's not very large either. And it's just out of reach from Ward 6. So you see a lot more families living here. It's still very investor heavy, but you do see a lot more families owning in this area, which is great. Like, you want to have more families owning in a town. So as far as the style of home goes, that doesn't change too much in Ward 5. You see a lot of traditional homes. Of course, as I'm saying this, you see like a nice development, but that's rare. You really do not see that in Ward 5 that much anyway. But, you know, very similar style homes to a lot of different areas of New Brunswick. It is a quieter area. Like I said, a lot more people own in this area. It's got a good vibe. I've always liked Ward 5. And let's talk about home prices for a minute. So Ward 5 has a collection of single family and multifamily. You know, the average price point, it's going to be lower than in Ward 6 for sure. So you'll see multifamily trade, you know, 400, 500,000, maybe 600,000 if it's a big multifamily. The single families right now, again in 2024, they're trading like between like 350 and 425, like a 3 or 4 bedroom single family house. A lot of them were built in the 20s, but again, like, you know, you don't really see trash on the streets, whereas you might see those in some other areas. It's just, it's very well kept, and like I said, it's very up and coming. I'm personally a big fan of Ward 5. Okay guys, so we're gonna talk about Ward 5 in downtown. I found this pretty cool map of all the wards in New Brunswick. We're not gonna get distracted now. So Ward 5 is basically, the outline is where this green dotted line is. Not here, that's the Raritan River. But so this is Hamilton Street, this is French Street, right? And this was kind of the downtown street. I believe that was Bayard Street that we drove down. So this kind of gives you an idea of Ward 5 in the downtown. It's not a huge section of New Brunswick by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a very good area, as I've discussed in the videos, and I'll continue to discuss later on. So in a nutshell, train station is like right over here, right? George Street is here, then you come up here, this is French Street, and you have all these side streets, and then this is Hamilton Street. So downtown, Ward 5, there you have it. So let's talk pros and cons of the downtown area and Ward 5. The pros would be, and I kind of have to divide this into two, but for downtown, the pros would be, I mean, proximity to everything. Downtown, you don't need a car. Downtown, if you commute into the city, it's kind of a layup to rent downtown. It's a very quick walk. It's got a real city vibe downtown. Pros for Ward 5, if you want to own a single family or two family, you can. There's plenty available. You got Robert Wood Johnson in Ward 5. You're just in the outskirts of Rutgers. You do have French Street. So there's a lot going on in Ward 5. Cons of downtown would be price point. I mean, the condos are not cheap. I mean, cheap's a relative term, right? Like somebody's watching this video and what I'm about to say, they're gonna be like, oh my God, it's really cheap. But the condos, you know, now trade like maybe like 450 to 550,000. Again, depends on the building. That's usually for like a 2-bedroom unit, you know, so, and there's a lot of condos. It's not like there's houses downtown. So if you want a house, downtown's not really for you. Cons to Ward 5 is it's up and coming. So we're not there yet, but it's getting better. You know, there's plenty of homes that, you know, could use a little bit of TLC, but there are a lot of very caring owners who own in Ward 5. Honestly, like I don't find many cons with looking in Ward 5. I think it's a very solid investment, and I've had many clients who have purchased there. I really don't, honestly, I don't really have anything bad to say about Ward 5. Okay, so why would you consider downtown or Ward 5? Well, if you live downtown, right, maybe you want luxury style living, you want a doorman building, you want proximity to the subway, you kind of want to feel like you're in a city. Ward 5, it's a little bit cheaper than Ward 6. It's still a very desirable area. You're pretty close to Rutgers. You're right next to French Street. You can still walk to the downtown. That's where I'm driving right now, here on Somerset Street. So that would kind of be your reasons why you'd want to move into either one or own in either one. I'm a big fan of Ward 5, right? Like how many times have I said it in this video? We should probably have a counter, but I can't say enough good things about it. The downtown, there's a lot of development going on. So if you're looking for development projects, you could put assemblages together. Some of them already have approvals, and they're looking for someone like you watching this video to roll up their sleeves, put a shovel in the ground and build. So hope this was helpful. If it was, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will continue with neighborhood tours in New Brunswick.